Hello again then folks, as you might have guessed, we're Bankside again, and we're going to have a chat with co-owner of No Weight on Bait, Mr. Nick Rudge. We're going to have a chat with him about rigs again. I know it's quite a particular favourite of yours, isn't it mate, this subject?
Yeah, I always like to keep on top of rigs. It's a confidence thing in it, you know.
So what goodies have you got for us to have a little bit of a chat about today?
Well, I've got three particular rigs which have all got the uses for different situations. First rig was one of my all-time favourites. It's a combi rig consisting of Nash trigger link. Looks quite hideous when you see it. You think, God, that's not good. That's going to stand out like a sore thumb on the bottom. It's trigger link and a stripped off section of missing link.
They're both Nash products, yeah?
Both Nash products. Just to point out, I'm not actually plugging Nash bait, Nash tackle or anything. I just like to use Nash products. Basically, you can use this on practically any bottom. I wouldn't recommend it in weed. Light weed's okay, but heavy weed, no go. Basically, the idea behind trigger link is it's got this bungee cord type effect.
Tell you what mate, if you just place that down on your, I'll try and get a better view of that for the viewers.
That's the trigger link section there, and that's the missing link section. Just to mention, the hook, it's a Nash Fang X. Bit of shrink tube for the kicker. Once again, that's Nash Diffusion Camo shrink tube, and obviously a rig ring. Again, that's a personal thing. You can use silicone tubing for the blowback effect if you like, but again, it's a personal thing. And obviously some rig putty. To construct it, obviously you can use a tiny ring to tie it together if you're not very good with tying back-to-back grinners. I myself have used a back-to-back grinner and then moulded the putty around the knot. As I was saying, the idea behind the trigger link is it's got this bungee like effect.
Yeah, I'm just zooming in now. It's an interesting, well, it's not a monofilament, is it? But would you class it as a braid?
It's actually a PVA woven braid.
PVA woven braid?
Yeah. Basically what happens with this is, I recommend you tie this at a really good length, probably up to 12 inches, purely because what happens is once this is submerged in water, it actually shrinks to half the size.
So, just for an example, if you've tied that at 12 inches...
Yeah, it should shrink down to roughly about 6 inches. And the idea behind it is when the carp actually takes the bait, the bungee effect, you might just be able to pick up the bungee effect because it's a bit wet. You can see that? It's constricting, look.
Yeah, you can, can't you?
Yep.
Well, I can from my end, whether it's doing justice on the camera, hopefully it is. It's just like, as Nick said, a bungee. Like the, I can explain it, you know, the bungee ropes that you get for your barrow.
Yeah.
You know, or an elasticated effect, if that's...
a bit like pole elastic, you know.
Yeah, that's it. There's definitely an bungee effect.
But the idea is, obviously, I can't show you, but the beauty with this is, like I say, it shrinks down to half the size. The best thing to do about, obviously, like I say, it looks hideous when you see it, but what a lot of people tend to do is they pick up a bit of silt or dirt and actually rub it into the braid, and it turns the colour. I tend to, believe it or not, wrap it in tea bags. And you leave it in tea bag, and it absorbs all the tea, and it stains it. And I can tell you now, it definitely works. It's very underrated, and you should give it a go.
I was just going to say, the first time Nick said that to me, I thought, I ain't one of the PG monkeys you're talking to here, mate.
I mean,
I've seen you do it, and it's, yeah, you know.
I mean, a lot of other tips I can recommend is mint leaves. A lot of people rub mint leaf across the link.
Here's another one, just to throw another spanner in the works. Would you say get away with, say, a chosen flavour? If you was to just put that on, like, say, a bit of tissue?
I mean, a lot of people tend to dunk it in, like, coffee and things like that, but you can use, I know people have used, like, cherry coke.
Yep.
And things like that. It's just to darken the link, but if I'm honest with you, I've had fish while it's been like that. Again, I suppose it's a confidence thing.
I suppose in the winter time,
Yeah.
it's something to possibly look into.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely well worth trying. Very underrated. And if you listen to Steve Renyard talking about bungee type rigs, he actually swears by them. So give it a go.
Right then, so that's the first one you want to discuss. So the middle one there, that's it's a dark. Is that a braid again, or is it a coated braid?
It's a coated braid which has been stripped. Here, it's actually end-trap soft, and I must admit, although
zoom in there, mate.
not entirely
so you've taken
a fanatic, I'm very impressed with the actual material.
So it's coated apart from the last 2 inches, is it?
Yeah, it's just to give it that bit of a, excuse me, gives it a bit of free movement, you know. I would normally have a bit of putty there, but unfortunately I haven't finished constructing the rig properly. But again, you'd have a bit of putty there just to help with the hook holds. Oops. Basically, this is just another variation of a Snowman, but it's actually a KD rig. But I've been using this KD rig now with a Snowman setup. No ring involved, no silicone, no shot below the bottom bait. It's just like that basically. If you can see how it should look.
Yeah, if you just there you go, mate. So just to explain to the viewers who've never tried it, this whip it twice.
Yeah.
Pull the hair out the way and then whip it back round.
Yeah.
And obviously
kicks the air out.
How many times do you whip it?
I tend to whip it 3 times down, pull the air out the way, and 3 times down again. So it just kicks the air out. It's a brilliant setup, and I know one of the Corder guys, Tom Dove, absolutely swears by the KD rig. Cracking rig, but like I say, I don't use it predominantly as a KD rig with like a pop-up, a muzzle rig like or something like. I actually use it as a Snowman setup, and it is really effective.
So I mean, people that I know who've used it have used it with a shot in the past. Are you a no-no with a shot, or?
No, don't need a shot. The bottom bait counterbalances everything anyway. That hook will be lying there like any other hook will be on the bottom, exactly like a Snowman setup. But your Snowman, unfortunately, I haven't got a boilie on, but the idea it'd be there like that. Your bottom bait would be on the bottom, obviously, and you got your pop up. Obviously, when it sucks that bait in, lifts that up, that gets hooked right in the bottom of the lip. You can see that how the effect would work.
Yeah, it's just an aggressive curve
a bit
on
like
it.
A claw in it.
Yeah.
And it really does work, and it's something I'm playing about with at the moment, as opposed to the ringed version with the you know, as opposed to using a ring. Sorry.
I've got to be honest. I mean, people might have seen the videos that I've uploaded on my intake on the Snowman. I'm a big fan with the ring and the blowback, but it's like anything in it, mate. In this game, especially fishing, as I always say, and I'm sure you agree with me, it's about confidence in it.
Yeah. I mean, I have found the hook holds on the KD in the bottom lip are proper aggressive. You know, they really are holding well. I get the same sort of with the ringed one, but they're not quite always in the bottom lip.
Right.
Whereas with this KD, they seem to be hitting the bottom lip all the time.
Every time?
Every single time, yeah.
So would you say, out of 10 with the KD, you're going to hit the bottom lip 9 times as opposed to that one? Maybe 7 or 8?
Yeah, 9 out of 10 definitely that one, 7 with that one, most definitely.
Interesting stuff, mate. And then moving on, I believe that's, is that a combi rig you've got there?
It is, yes. Stiff boom, which is mouth trap. You can use any bristle filament really. Again, it's just personal choice. Once again, putty, and this time it's Supernatural.
And is that once again back-to-back grinner, not you?
Back-to-back grinner, yeah. If, like I say, if you don't want to fiddle about, because it can be awkward, just use a ring. It's far easier. Again, silicone kicker, Nash Fang X, rig ring. Again, this is a Snowman section, but I like this purely when I'm fishing like on clear bottoms, and especially at distance. Obviously the stiff boom, in my opinion, is to stop the old rig from tangling. Yeah, this is all supple, but once you've got like maybe a bag or anything on that, that's not going to get tangled around anything. But the stiff section obviously kicks everything out. I would only use this on clearer bottoms because, you know, it's got a nasty habit of kinking up. But I know it's an easier water than we think. Well, I've had a lot of success on drayton with this.
Yeah.
And I did actually use it down on the Ning Valley. And it worked really well down there, but it fished a lot better on sort of gravelly areas as opposed to silt and like choddy areas. Excellent rig, and definitely well worth using. I mean, if you wanted to use it on a silty sort of venue, I would use a fluorocarbon lead section for your boom, something like 15 pound IQ or whatever, something that's not as stiff. Once again, the hook holds are brilliant on this, really good. But there's 3 rigs that you can definitely try. I mean, if you want to be different, that's the one. You don't see many people using trigger link or any bungee type rig.
I must add, it's one of Kevin's products, and it ain't a cheap one. I must add that, but
it's not cheap, but it works. It definitely works, and like I say, it looks really crude, but
you only get what you pay for, mate, and it's something totally different. And
if you've ever watched Kevin's videos, he'll tell you, like, if you want to nail that elusive fish, then get on the trigger link. He says 9 times out of 10 there'll be no one else on your lake or river or whatever using it.
Just going to say that I wouldn't imagine there's many people using it. Maybe one of the reasons is because of the price of the product, but you only get what you pay for, and it's, well, me and Nick swear by a lot of Nash's products. They're awesome.
At the end of the day, I always use the word confidence.
Yep.
If your rig's working, there's no need to change.
Correct.
Stick with what you know is working. Obviously, depending on the lake bed or whatever. I mean, I've seen no reason to change any of my rigs lately. I mean, I'm stuck on the Snowmans. They've served me well. I've hooked more fish than I've lost. I see no reason to change, and I'd say the same to you. But if you do want to change, there's a few things there to think about.
Yep. So if it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.